Hi everyone, good morning from Maui. I just thought I would do just a short little stretch class this morning. Anybody who knows me knows I don't really love mornings. So anything I can do aside from drinking yet another cup of coffee in the morning to get me going is fantastic. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to start by reading from Luke chapter 1, verse 78. It says, "Because of God's tender mercy, the morning light from heaven is about to break upon us, to give light to those who sit in darkness and to guide us on the path of peace." So we're going to start this morning in a child's pose here. So knees are wide, toes are together, bringing the hips right down. Arms forward, forehead down onto the mat. Take a good 5 or 6 breaths here. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left corner of the mat. You might even want to take your right hand, placing it on top of the left hand. Nice, good side body stretch. And then walking the hands over to the right corner of the mat, taking the left hand on top of the right. A few breaths here. Back to center, and then we're going to come up into our tabletop position here. So stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders, stacking the knees underneath the hips, working out the kinks in the spine this morning. Inhaling, head comes up, tailbone up. Exhale, drop the head, really round the spine, pushing it up to the sky. And then flowing with your breath. Back to neutral here. We're just going to take our knees back a little bit and lower down onto our bellies. Try not to flop. Dropping the feet flat here, taking the hands underneath the shoulders. You want to make sure your glutes are nice and relaxed here. So sometimes if you wiggle side to side a little bit, that can help release the glute muscles from doing too much work right here. We want the back muscles to do the work. So chin to the mat here. Take an inhale. And then exhale, just lifting the chest off the mat. Try not to clench the glutes. And then do about 5 or 6 of those. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. This time coming down, we're gonna do a little bit of a gentle quad stretch here. So forehead down to the mat, You're just gonna reach back for that ankle, flexing the foot. You may need to roll the shoulder open, and then adding a quad stretch here. And releasing that and doing the other side. Reaching for the ankle, flex the foot, forehead down. And release the ankle, pushing back into a child's pose again. This time a narrow child's pose, so keeping the knees together, bringing the head down. Couple breaths. And then pushing yourself up, tucking the toes, lifting the hips into your downward dog. Now take a few breaths here, pedaling out the feet, spreading out the fingers nice and wide, pressing into the fingertips. This might be your first downward dog today. It's definitely mine. So pedaling out those feet, bending the knees. And then walking your feet up towards your hands, hanging in a forward fold here. Grab one hand onto each elbow, hang the head heavy. You can sway side to side. Releasing the hands, taking them onto the shins, coming up for a half lift here. Exhale, dropping back down, plant the hands. We're going to step back with the right leg into a low lunge here. So dropping that knee down, dropping that foot, and then coming up with the hands onto the thigh, making sure that the knee and the ankle are stacked over each other. Getting a nice, good hip flexor stretch here. Bringing the hands down, tucking those toes under, lift the knee, bring it back to your forward fold, hanging here. In the morning especially, I find that my spine really releases doing a nice forward fold. Hands to the shins for a half lift. Exhale, dropping it down, plant the hands, this time stepping back with the other leg. Drop that knee, flatten the foot, coming up onto the thigh, making sure that there's no rock under your mat. Stacking your knee and ankle, working into the hip flexor on the other side. Really sink into that, dropping the hips, breathing in. Bringing the hands back down, tuck those back toes, lift that knee. We're just gonna come into our wide squat here. So maneuver yourself around. The feet are as wide as the mat. Toes are angled to the outside, and then dropping the hips right down as far as you can. This does kind of mess with your center of gravity a little bit. Taking your hands into prayer position, elbows against the knees, that can kind of help. You want to make sure that you're not sinking into it like a little turtle. Keeping the chest open, back straight. You can play with the weight in your feet a little bit if you want. Onto your toes. Back onto your heels, lifting the toes. Maybe rocking side to side. Always challenge yourself a little bit. And just bringing the hands beside you, drop yourself down onto your mat, legs out front. We're going to take our hands behind us with our fingers pointing towards your glutes here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your hips into your reverse plank here. Open the chest, lifting the hips up. Breathing here. Dropping the hips back down. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, coming into a forward fold. You can use a strap if you want, or grabbing the shins, the feet, the toes, whatever is good here. Let gravity help you. Coming up, we'll do that one more time. Plant the hands. Inhale. Exhale, lifting the hips, opening the chest. And dropping the hips once again. Inhale, arms up, lengthen. Exhale, bringing it forward. And release. Just going to come into a nice seated position here. You can sit on your knees if you want, or sitting cross-legged, whatever you like. Sitting up nice and tall. Taking the right hand down, the left arm up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, over to the side. You can look up under that arm. I'm just seeing the sun coming up over the top of the volcano here called Haleakala, which is called House of the Sun. Back up to center. Inhale, the right arm up. Lengthen. Exhale, over to the side. Back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. And release. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting to the right. And release back to center. We're going to tilt the head over to the right side. And then bringing it over to the left. Up to center, bringing the chin to the chest. And release. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.